My name is Walter Bequette, Walter. And the last name is Bequette. I was in the Navy from 1963 to 1968.
So, where, when were you born?
St. Louis, Missouri, 1945.
Okay. Do you have any parents or siblings that were in the military?
Well, yeah, my brother. My brother was also in the Navy, Seabees.
Same time as you?
Let's see, we were both over there. He was on land and I was in sea. I believe in, 66 and 67. We were both over there.
What were you guys doing before you entered the service?
Just high school.
Just high school? You got in right after high school?
Right, I enlisted the month before I got out of high school.
Oh, wow. You enlisted, you didn't get drafted?
No, I enlisted.
What was your reason for choosing the Navy and enlisting?
And my dad told me if I went in the Navy, I'd always sleep in a bed and have a hot meal. And he was correct.
How was training camp?
Boot camp?
Yeah.
I was good. As long as you keep your head screwed on right, it was fine.
Any funny stories you got?
Not too much out of boot camp. They pretty much kept you under control.
Okay. And then how was leaving boot camp? Were you excited?
Yeah. But they sent me right back. I went to boot camp in Great Lakes. And I went in the summertime, hopefully to get away from Great Lakes before winter, and they sent me right back up there for Class A school. So I spent the winter up there anyway. And then out of Class A school, I had never been on an airplane. And I flew from Chicago to St. Louis, from St. Louis to San Francisco, and then they flew me all over the West Pacific for a month trying to catch my ship.
So how was that, like trying to adapt to, like, first time being on a flight, you're in all these new areas?
It was different. It was exciting. Young, single. It was all exciting.
Okay. And then where did you end up serving at?
My ship was stationed in San Francisco, and I was aboard that same ship for 4.5 years. And during that 4.5 years, I made 3 West Pacific cruises on it, which was 9 months. Each time was 9 months in length.
And what exactly were you doing on the ships?
I was a machinist mate, a steam engineer. And that's what the Navy sent me to school for. That's what I did the whole time I was in the Navy, and that's what I did up until the time I retired. It was just what they taught me.
So for you, it was pretty much going in there to get a career.
Well, basically, it turned out that way.
Yeah. So anything you did it after you got out of the military.
Right.
Right. And then how did you how was it staying in contact with your, while you were on the ships? Was it hard to stay in contact with your friends or family members?
Well, your family members, that was a letter once a month or so, and your friends, they kind of went by the wayside, really.
Right.
Typical high school, same as everybody else. You run into them in later life, and it's not the same.
Everyone moves on. And so how was life on the ship?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I really did. My biggest regret in life is I didn't make a career out of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got any stories from on the ships? There's got to be something.
Oh, there's a lot of them. Yeah. There's a lot of them. But like for me, I was in during Vietnam, but I was in the South China Sea. I wasn't on land. I could sit on a cargo deck and watch the skies light up at night, but it wasn't like the guys that were on land. And my stories are just the basic everyday stories, being a sailor, going to the different places. I wouldn't take $1 million for the places I've been or the things I've seen, It was all good.
So you say your brother was on the land.
My brother was in the Seabees.
And if you were on the ship watching it, how was that?
My brother seen a little action. He seen a little action.
But for you,
not a lot.
On the ship or whatever, how did you feel seeing the skies light up and knowing that your brother was
you're young, and you really don't understand it being far away, being removed from it like that. You don't understand it like the guys on the land were. It was different.
Kind of like an out of sight, out of mind thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know you're in the support group, but it's different being removed from it like that.
Yeah. Okay. And then, how long again? I'm sorry, how long again did you say you served?
5 years.
5 years?
I extended a year.
Extended a year?
Right.
By choice?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So how was it when you came back home?
Back then it was different. Your veterans weren't looked upon as they are today. You weren't honored. It was completely different. You were looked upon like you were the scum of the earth.
Oh.
Back then.
So it wasn't a pleasant, like...
No.
Got off
You
the
didn't
bus.
talk about it like they do now. Today they treat your veterans a lot different, with respect.
That's good.
Back then it wasn't.
So you just came home, got off the bus, and
And that was about it, and then tried to forget about it.
so... Okay. What was, how'd your family react? After you got back home and, that you were home finally, like your dad?
Well, I didn't come back home. I stayed in California.
Oh.
So, but they were glad that I was out.
That's good. How'd you readjust back to civilian life?
It wasn't hard. It wasn't hard at all. I got married right away, and she helped me adapt. So.
Do you ever stay in contact with the members that you had on your ship?
Oh yeah. We have a ship's reunion once a year, and this year it's in Memphis. But in fact, it goes all the way back to World War II. Anybody that was ever on that ship. So it was almost, when we first started going to it, it was like going to boot camp again, meeting all these guys from all over the states, and it becomes a pretty close-knit group.
That's good. How many people would you say that were on your ship that you probably see in those, when you guys meet up back up?
Oh, I think there's probably about 80 to 90. Of course, we're all getting old and slowly dropping off, but there's I'd say about 90 of us that belong to the association.
You say it's a close-knit group. Did you say because of what you guys had to go through together?
Well, yeah, all of us, some of them went through Korea on that ship, some of them through Vietnam, some of them through World War II. But we've all got our stories, and everybody knows what the work was aboard that type of ship. It was an oiler, and we refueled all the rest of the fleet. So there was times that you would start refueling and go around the clock doing it.
24 hours.
24 hours. So everybody knew what type of work it was, and so you've always got that in common.
Long days.
Oh yeah.
24 hours.
Yep.
Oh wow. So what would you say a life lesson learned from your military service would be?
Boy, that's tough. I don't even know if I can answer that, really. Like I say, everything I've gotten and have accomplished has all been on account of being in the military. And I always thought it was something that every man should have to do.
Yeah. So you would advise somebody else to join the military if somebody...
in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. Of course, it's different today than what it was then, but yeah, you don't have your regular services like they do now. It seems like everything is done with the reserves, and I don't agree with that.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did the wartime experience affect your life, if had any at all?
I really can't. I'd say it enlightened me. It made me aware of things that I never would have paid attention to. And I honestly believe it made a man out of me. It taught me a trade. It taught me respect. And I'll just leave it at that.
That's good.
That's me. Okay. Hey, don't look at me. I can't believe I'm doing this for you since it's your project. You were in for 5 years, right? So you did three different.
Yeah, 3 tours.
Ships,
No,
tours.
it was the same ship.
Well, but I meant you
Right.
went out to sea 3 different times.
Right. I made 3 Westpac tours.
What's the difference between the first one and the second, the last one? And you can talk.
Age.
But I mean, were they all during they were all during the Vietnam?
Oh, all during Vietnam. All during Vietnam. We operated 9 months out of every year. 9 months out of every year we operated overseas. Our home base overseas was the Philippines. We'd go in, take on fuel, and then go out and transfer personnel and fuel to the other ships. It was basically a job, and a lot of times it was tough. But then, like I say, I enjoyed going to sea. I enjoyed going to the foreign countries. I look forward to that. I really liked it.
Yeah, for life experiences.
Oh,
you know?
God, yes. God, yes. And I'd say, and I believe this, I think every man should have to go for at least 2 years.
At least 2 years.
At least 2 years.
Okay.